Check out FlipsideGaming.com for all your gaming needs. Use the promo code HEROES to save 10% on all orders over $10. From now until June 17th, if you use this promo code, you will automatically be entered into a drawing to win a Modern Horizons booster box. See the description below for details. Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends, and welcome to this special edition of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch, where we're going to check in on War of the Spark price trends now that the set has been out for almost 2 weeks. Without any further ado, let's get right into it. We're going to get started by looking at that Buy a Box promo. Tezzeret Master of the Bridge goes up 11 cents to $22.50. This card did stabilize a little bit this week, although I do think in another week or two it will lose a little more value. It is a very solid commander card, though. A lot of people are using it. Alright, let's move on to the top 10 War of the Spark cards that lost value this week. And you're going to see a number of cards here that are doing pretty well, seeing a fair amount of play, not only sometimes in Standard, but also in other formats. However, you do have to remember a lot of packs are being opened. The set's only been out for a couple weeks. A lot of people are still playing Draft and Sealed with this set. Modern Masters is coming. Previews are going to start on Sunday, and people will start to divert their attention at that point. But for right now, a lot of cards are entering circulation, and a lot of the rares especially are softening up. Number 10 is Blast Zone, down 53 cents to $7.10. Perfect example. This card has seen Standard play, Modern play, Legacy play, even a little Vintage play too. People are trying it out there. But it is going down 53 cents. Still a pretty expensive rare though, considering it is around the $7 price point. Number 9, the Elder Spell, goes down 55 cents to $2. This is a very strong lower card, and it is a lot of fun if you build around it a tad bit in Commander. However, it hasn't really caught on in Standard yet. I did see just a tad bit of sideboard play. Don't know if that's going to catch on going forward, though, so this card does lose value. Number 8, Bolas's Citadel, down 61 cents to $3. This is another one of those cards that is trying to find a home. I have seen people try it out in Vintage Storm. We'll have to see if that can pan out eventually. There are Standard brews out there, but none of them have really put up a good result yet. Commander players are trying this card out, though. You are seeing this probably more so in Commander than anywhere right now. Number 7 is Finale of Promise, down 74 cents to $6.18. So here's a Mythic that's losing value. And this card has seen some play, actually. Modern Phoenix decks, whether it be Izzet or Mono Red, many times you'll find a copy in the main nowadays. Standard Phoenix builds will usually run like 2 copies in the main. So the card is out there, but it did have a very high price point during the pre-release time, so I do think it will lose maybe a little more before it stabilizes in the short term. Number 6, God Eternal Ronas, goes down 78 cents to $6, another Mythic here, and this card has seen a little Standard play in some Stompy decks here or there, but it hasn't caught on, at least not yet. Although you have been seeing more creature-centric decks over the last week or so, so perhaps as the season goes on, this could see a little more play. Number 5 is Dreadhorde Arcanist, down 94 cents to $4. This rare takes a pretty big dive this week, and it does see a tad bit of play here or there, most consistently in Standard Feather decks. I have seen some players trying it out in Legacy as a Delver. We'll have to see if that sticks. Number 4 is Ilharg, the Raise Boar, down $1.30 to $8.95, another Mythic losing value here. This is already seeing play in Modern Grishol brand decks. We'll have to see if people feel that it's good enough to stay in those decks as the weeks go on, but at least right now it looks pretty promising. Standard, you'll see this sometimes in Gruul aggro decks, which also had a bigger impact over the course of the last week or so. Number 3, God Eternal Kefnet, goes down $1.41 to $18.30, a Mythic that's been very popular, but it did have a very high price point going into the release time period, which is why it is losing some value. With that being said, though, it is seeing a lot of Standard play in Control decks, Nexus decks, Phoenix decks, and more right now. Number 2 is Gideon Blackblade, down $1.65 to $16.59. Kind of the same story here. This is a card that's seeing a lot of play, but it is a Mythic rare. More copies are slowly getting out in circulation. And it's another card that had a high price point during the pre-release time period. So where is Gideon seeing play? In Standard, a lot of places. Azorius and Mono White aggro decks, for example. Orzhov Knights, Azorius Control, Feather. This card has even seen a little bit of Modern play. We'll have to see what happens going forward there, though. Number 1, Nicol Bolas, Dragon God, down $2.93 to $24.99. This is kind of interesting. It's the big, flashy marquee card of the set, but it is losing a lot of value. Is it seeing play? It is. Grixis Control decks in Standard are going to love this card, obviously, and they have been successful so far. But not a lot of other decks have been adopting this, and that goes for outside of Standard as well. Of course, it's always going to see play in places like Commander. It's going to be very good there, too. But at least when it comes to Standard, Modern, Legacy, it's not showing up in a whole lot of different places, but where it is showing up, it is performing well. Time to look at the top 8 War of the Spark cards that gain value this week. And again, we're only looking at 8 because once you get past 8, we're just talking about movement by pennies, and that doesn't really mean anything. So let's see what's happening. Number 8, Krenko Tin Street Kingpin goes up 7 cents to $1.40. This rare has a pretty low price point, so it does tick up a little bit because it is seeing some play. Feather decks will play this. You'll find it a little bit in Gruul aggro decks, which again are becoming a little more popular. Also, I have seen modern players trying this out occasionally in Mono Red Prison. Number 7, Vivien, Champion of the Wilds, up 8 cents to $2.95, another card that had a lower price point going into the release time period. A lot of people overlooked it. However, in Standard, it's been doing well in Bat Midrange and Gruul aggro, and in Modern, it has been showing up in Vannifar Evolution decks. Now, we'll have to see if those decks can put up some big results going forward, but at least right now, there are a lot of players trying to make that work still. Number 6, Chandra Fire Artisan goes up 12 cents to $5.40. This card had a big spike last week, goes up just a little more this week, and the big spike was due to the fact that it performed very well in Mono Red aggro decks over the course of the first weekend. Still doing well there, and you're going to find it in Gruul aggro decks and Gruul midrange decks as well as some others too. Number 5, Narset's Reversal goes up 13 cents to $2.76, another one of those cheaper rares going up in value because of the play that it is seeing. Simic Nexus, Izzet Phoenix, and other control builds in Standard are using this. Number 4, Teferi Time Raveler goes up 36 cents to $13.09. I gotta remind you, this is not a mythic, this is a rare. How is it holding this kind of value with all those packs being open? Easy, it's seeing a ton of play in a lot of places. If you look at Standard, Esper Midrange, Esper Control, a lot more there. Modern, Azorius Control, Azorius Spirits, and others. Legacy, this is showing up in Miracles decks right now. This is definitely one to keep an eye on for the long term. Number 3 is Karn, the Great Creator, up 53 cents to $10.48. Very similar story here. This is a rare, it's holding its value and going up. And it's because, much like the previous card, it's seeing a lot of play. This card is doing something special though. It is actually creating new decks in old formats, which is pretty amazing. In Vintage, you're going to find this in Eldrazi decks, Legacy, Planeswalker Post decks, for example. Modern, it's seen play so far in Mono Blue Tron, Mono Red Prison, Lantern Control, among other places. This is definitely another long-term card to keep an eye on. Number 2 is Narset Parter of Vales, up 77 cents to $2.60. Now we have an uncommon on our top 8 going up in value. Well, again, it's a card seeing tons of play, again, in various formats. Vintage is at Xerox decks, for example. Legacy, you'll find this sometimes in Miracles or Stoneblade. They're trying her out there. Standard, Esper Control, Simic Nexus, and more. This being an uncommon isn't going to shoot up maybe like Karn and Teferi have. However, it is going to probably increase more in value before it stabilizes. Another long-term card to watch, but remember this one is uncommon. Number 1 is God Eternal Oketra, up 307 to $14.90. This mythic is really moving, and I do think it had a low price coming out of the release time period. So I'm not real surprised to see these kind of bumps with this card. It is something that isn't seeing extensive play in a lot of places, but the Bat Midrange deck looked pretty good this week. I don't know about its longevity in Standard. We'll have to see how it goes over the next few weeks, but at least right now this card is pretty hot. And even if that deck does fade away or something, I do think other decks could adopt this card going forward. I do think the raw power is there, and I think a lot of people overlooked it. We're going to move on now to the top 10 Japanese language alternative art planeswalkers that lost value this week. That is a mouthful. These are beginning to stabilize as more copies are starting to get out there. Some are holding steady, some of the real big ones you won't see on this list or the next list, but there's a lot that are losing value today. Number 10, we have Sarkhan, the Master List, down $1 to $11.98. This is actually seeing some standard play too in Mono Red aggro, Gruul midrange, and others. Number 9 is Saheeli, Sublime Artificer, down $2 to $13.99. This is another card that is seeing a little standard play in Izzet Phoenix builds right now. Also, modern players are trying this out in Glittering Jeskai Ascendancy. Number 8, Ugin the Ineffable, goes down $2.40 to $27.49. Another card that is seeing play in multiple places, Legacy, Eldrazi Post, Planeswalker Post, and Standard. You'll find this in Esper Midrange, Esper Control, Grixis Control, Sultai Midrange, and more. Number 7, Ajani the Great-Hearted, down $2.57 to $9.09. This has been in Super Friends and Selesnya Explore decks in Standard. Number 6, Ob Nixilis the Hate Twisted, goes down $2.89 to $4.18. Number 5, Domri Anarcha Bolas, goes down $3 to $22. Now this one is also starting to see a little more standard play in those Gruul aggro decks. Number 4 is Narset Parter of Vales, going down $3 to $29.99. Number 3, Gideon Blackblade, going down $4 to $37.99. Number 2, Teo, the Shield Mage, goes down $5.64 to $5.48. And this is one of those cards that is showing up in those banned Super Friends builds too. And number 1 is Nissa, who shakes the world. This goes down $5.99 to $24.99. This can be found in Gruul Aggro and Bat Nexus right now in Standard. Only 2 of these Japanese language alternative art Planeswalkers are gaining value this week. Let's take a look at them. Number 2, Kaya, Bane of the Dead. Now, this isn't doing a whole lot right now in competitive Magic. It goes up 10 cents though to $5.38. I remember seeing one of these early on in the sideboard of a mono white aggro build, but I haven't seen much of it since. And number 1, Karn the Great Creator, goes up $3 to $38.98. Okay, that concludes our Market Watch for today. Until next time, hey, thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible through the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.